Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to obviously not my kitchen. I was actually editing this week's video when I realized that something happened with my mic when I was filming the intro for this video, and it had like a really annoying noise in the background. So I just wanted to hop on and refilm the intro and give like a brief little introduction into the video you're about to see today. So basically this Christmas I went to Barnes & Noble with my sister and they were having 50% off on their hardcover books. I did some damage and I bought quite a few cookbooks for myself. I got a little carried away. Anyway, one of the books I picked up was Claire Saffitz, What's for Dessert. I have her first cookbook and I really enjoyed baking out of it, so I figured I would also love this one, so I picked it up. And I thought it'd be really fun to bake something from the book with you guys. I thought it might be fun to just kind of chill and do something relaxed with you guys and do a recipe that wasn't one of my own, and also to kind of show you guys, I guess, what I look for in recipes and what my thought process is during recipes and what I like think about. I wanted to do something that I didn't really have a lot of experience with to like really test how her recipes are written, but also something that was pretty simple and approachable, that's something maybe you guys would enjoy. And I stumbled upon, I guess it's kind of the cover recipe, the Flourless chocolate meringue cake, and I just thought it was a gorgeous cake. I will preface this by saying I am not going to be including the recipe for this book. I am really sorry. It just kind of feels a little skeezy, I guess, to just publish somebody else's recipe when they are actively selling it. It's kind of like if I were to buy like a knitting or crochet pattern from somebody and then just post it without their permission. It just feels wrong. So if you want the recipe, you can definitely check out Claire's book. I am offering hopefully some kind of compromise or consolation prize because I did whip up a really quick raspberry compote that I thought would be delicious with this cake. So I am going to be giving you guys that recipe and you will be able to find that in the description down below. I know it's not the recipe for the cake and I'm really sorry. I just felt really weird about publishing that without permission. So I hope you guys are not like too mad at me about that. I am going to be walking you guys through how to make it and everything, just not the specific measurements for all the ingredients and stuff. I hope, don't hate me, please, I'm sorry. If you guys want me to check out anybody else's cookbooks or try anybody else's stuff, I have a huge stash of cookbooks in my collection that I love baking from. So if you guys want any other like recipe recommendations or anything like that, I would gladly go through them with you. Just let me know all of your thoughts. You know, this is a community, this is a group effort here. I'm just here to do what you guys want. Well, not really. I do what I want, and then hopefully you like it. But anyway, so I'm gonna throw back to the video now. Let me know all of your thoughts, and I will see you guys later in like 3 seconds. Bye. Oh my god. Okay, so I just read through the recipe. I have my 9-inch springform here that I sprayed and lined with parchment. And it seems like a lot of this stuff can be like measured out together. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. The way that like this cake kind of gets its rise is from beating the egg whites. I have my stand mixer down. I don't really know if I want to use it though, so I might just use my hand mixer. So I have my oven preheating to 350, and the first thing that we're gonna do is melt our chocolate and some other things over bain-marie. Or like a double boiler. And basically the reason why most people have you do a bain-marie or a double boiler instead of just melting it in the microwave, when you melt chocolate you kind of want to go low and slow and more of like an even heating, because if you heat it up too fast, like that's how you get chocolate that looks kind of grainy. Like if you've ever microwaved chocolate and it looks kind of grainy and lumpy no matter how much you stir it, that's usually because it got overheated. and that can happen really fast in a microwave. So in a large heat-proof bowl, we're gonna combine our chocolate, oil, brewed coffee, and some salt. Brewed coffee is usually in chocolate cakes to like enhance the chocolate flavor. So it's not really gonna taste like coffee or anything. It's just gonna enhance the chocolatey flavor. If you don't have brewed coffee, you can usually just use water, but obviously it's gonna make it taste better. I'm gonna go ahead and get everything into my heat-proof bowl. Yeah. I'm using this chocolate today. This is my favorite chocolate to bake with because it's a very good quality chocolate. This is bittersweet, like 60% is a good semi-sweet chocolate. So we're using that today. Oh my gosh, dropping shit. It says coarsely chopped. Quite frankly, this is good enough. If I drop another piece of chocolate. This bowl is definitely too small for the pan I picked, so we're gonna swap it out. Also, I was going for mood lighting, ambiance. Let me know if this is too dark, and then I'll just fuck off. She calls for a neutral oil, using vegetable oil, coffee. So that's water. Can you focus on the water and not my sourdough starter, please? Don't look at that. It's not ready yet. Don't ask about it. Okay, so here's some steaming water. It will be simmering soon. I'm gonna put my chocolate over that, and that's gonna melt the chocolate. You know, this is not coarsely chopped, babes. This is just a straight chunk of chocolate. You know, okay. It's not really chopped, babes. Have you guys seen the meme that's like, I'd rather die than turn on the big light? That is me being stubborn right now. Some might call that a boil. They'd be correct. The water is too hot. We're getting there. We would already be there if I wasn't stubborn and actually chopped the chocolate. Also, I think people might ask this question. There's usually a reason why recipes will call for chopped chocolate and not chocolate chips. Chocolate chips get like a coating on them when they're made that makes it so that they hold their shape really well when they bake. So sometimes melting them in applications such as these is kind of annoying. The recipe calls for chopped chocolate. It's usually not really that much more expensive, so I would go for actual bars of chocolate, of like baking chocolate. How shiny and glossy that is. Can you see? No, you can't. I'm so sorry. This is pretty much melted. Let's go back to the island with it. Oh my god, that's hot. Oh my god, the fucking steam? Yeah, no, thank you. Aha. Hey, you got the yellow light? Ambiance? Next, we add in the yolks, the sugar, and the almond flour, and the vanilla. So I'm gonna add, she says to add the egg yolks, the vanilla, and the sugar. This is really hot. I'm gonna do the sugar first, and hopefully doing that will cool it down some. If you get nothing else from this video, maybe at least know that you should get a scale. Because do you know how many dishes I don't have to do because I get a scale? How much vanilla? It's 2 teaspoons. That's 8 grams. This is 5 egg yolks. We use 5 eggs in total for this recipe. So we're whisking vigorously to combine. Usually when you do shit like this, it should get, she doesn't have that in here, but it should get kind of glossy. There we go. She does not have in here that this is supposed to happen, but it is. When you add eggs to shit like this, egg yolks are like thickeners. So there we go. Look at that. It'll look broken for a second, but then it comes back together and looks kind of like ganache. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so now I'm gonna add the almond flour in. 70 grams of almond flour. Listen, I know the Target is probably not a good brand for almond flour, but in this economy, that is what I was getting. That looks correct, I suppose. Add a 1/4 cup of water and whisk vigorously until the mixture comes back together and looks smooth and glossy. Well, I kind of already did that, sorry. I I really should have put the camera on my left side because now I have to do everything with my left hand and I am not left-handed. Put that on my Wikipedia page, please. Okay, I think that's correct. Okay, so we're gonna set this aside and move on to the meringue now. So I did get some extra lighting in here because, especially with meringue, I wanted you guys to be able to see what was going on. So this is the 5 egg whites at room temperature, plus a pinch of salt, which for those of you measuring at home is about 1/8 of a teaspoon. Pro tip, eggs separate better when they're cold, but whip up better when they're room temperature. So always divide your eggs when they're cold. You run less of a risk of the yolk breaking into the egg whites, but then let them sit for a second. So she has us mixing this on medium-low speed until the whites are broken up and frothy. And then we're gonna go to medium-high and then gradually add the remaining 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. So essentially, we're making French meringue. That's what frothy is. In case you didn't know. This is like, it quite literally is what you think it is. When she says gradually, she means like very gradually. When you do French meringue, you want the sugar to be added in really, really slowly. I'm gonna not talk during this because the sound of the mixer is really annoying. You'll see what I mean when I do everything, so. Okay, so this is nothing. This is not even a soft peak. This is nothing. So we're gonna kick it up to high speed and I'll kind of show you the different stages because she wants us to be at stiff peaks. So this is like very soft peaks, if that. This is a soft peak, okay? Basically, we're not really looking at the end of it because this is always gonna fall no matter what. We're looking at the curve here, right? This is nothing. This is just falling over. This is a completely soft peak. It cannot support itself. So we're gonna keep going. This is a medium peak, so it can support itself a little more. It's standing up a little more upright, but it's still not a fully stiff peak. So I'll show you what a fully stiff peak looks like. This is medium. These are stiff peaks. They pretty much stand upright completely. They're thick and shiny. You don't really want to go any further than this because then you'll get dry stiff peaks and that's over whipped. You don't want that. So it should still be thick and glossy and shiny. And you get like nice little peaks in the bowl that are like not moving. And when you shake it, they don't fall back in. So that's a good stiff peak. She says to scoop a heaping cup of the meringue and set it aside for swirling. So I'm just gonna kind of eyeball that part. And what looks like could be a cup. I'm probably gonna err on the side of less than more. Scrape about half of the remaining meringue into the bowl with the chocolate mixture and fold gently just until a few streaks remain. I'll probably keep using the whisk for that part. So just gonna do nice little folding movements, very gentle, just until a few streaks remain. So I would say that's almost entirely mixed. Scrape the rest of the meringue in. That's the rest of the meringue. And I think that's good. This is, she fluffy, she thick. Scrape the batter into the prepared pan and then dollop spoonfuls of the reserved meringue across the entire surface. Cool, so I'm gonna get rid of this bowl. I'm gonna do tiny, oh, okay, well that's not. Babes, okay, well that was dumb. Okay, and then she says, take a toothpick or a skewer. Do I have any toothpicks? I don't think I have any toothpicks. That's a little concerning. I'm gonna use this little offset. Swirl the meringue. Swirl a little bit or a lot. It's up to you. Thank you, Claire. This is not as pretty as hers. Fuck. Okay, I think that's enough. I don't want to like mix it in. That's cute, right? Okay. I think that's good enough. And then she says bake until the surface is risen and cracked. The meringue is light and golden and a skewer or cake tester inserted into the center comes out shiny but clean. An hour, oh, I did not read this far out.
oh well, an hour to an hour and 10 minutes. So I'm gonna put this in the oven to bake, and then in the meantime, we're gonna make our raspberry compote, coulis, whatever you wanna call it. So this is a raspberry compote. I did it because I like raspberries. You can do different berries if you want. I'm sure this would be good with blackberries, strawberries, yum. So this is the raspberries, sugar, lemon juice, and salt. It's not all the raspberries. Out of 2 cups, it's only 1.5 cups. And the reason for that is we are going to let this cook down and come to a boil and cook out a lot of the water. Probably should have put this in a smaller pot, but here we are. So basically, we're gonna cook this down until the raspberries start to thicken and a lot of the water has been cooked out, so we have this really nice sauce left behind. I like to add more raspberries in after so that you get kind of that chunky texture that's like really identifiable as raspberry. If you don't really want that or you don't really care about that, you can add all of the raspberries in at once, but we are just going to be doing this for now. It's coming to a boil. I'm gonna reduce the heat to medium. And we're just gonna kind of let this go, stirring it occasionally until it's less of like a water and raspberry mixture and more of like a cohesive compote. So it'll take like 5 minutes. Also, hello, I don't want to hear anything about the raspberry seeds. If you don't want to eat the raspberry seeds, strain them out. Or don't use raspberries. I personally, they don't bother me, so I kind of let it go. If they bother you, then do something else. You are free to do that. It'll thicken up as it cools too, so we're pretty much done. I'm gonna add the rest of my raspberries in. Give that a good little mixy mix. Look at that. That is a nice thick compote. I know what you're saying, Amanda, look at all those seeds. Piss off. I like raspberries, so I get past the seeds. Okay, cool. You see that? You see how thick that is? It's just gonna get thicker as it cools, so we're gonna pull this off the heat now. Hi guys, welcome back. So mine baked for an hour, pretty much exactly. Cakes like this that are leavened pretty much entirely with egg whites do this like cracky thing where they like souffle, they puff up, and then as it cools they sink back down again. Totally normal. This is like very brownie-y like, and a lot of flourless chocolate cakes are like that. But anyway, I wanted to try it with you guys all together. I'm gonna try it without the raspberry compote first. It's really good. It's very rich and fudgy. I think it probably could have used the last 10 minutes in the oven because the range is an hour to an hour and 10. I think I probably next time would give it the last 10 minutes. Let's try it with the raspberry now. Raspberry with chocolate stuff is like my favorite, like over strawberry with chocolate stuff, because raspberry has that like tartness that cuts through like rich chocolatey desserts really well. Mine is not as pretty as hers, I don't think. I wonder if like more like medium stiff peaks would make it easier to like swirl in, but it still turned out really good. This is delicious though. I will say there's something about it, and I think it's because she uses almond flour instead of like cocoa powder, because a lot of flourless chocolate cakes use cocoa powder as the like dry ingredient essentially, and I think because she uses almond flour, there is a little bit more of like a, not mealy because that sounds gross, but like it's more cakey. it's less dense than a brownie, but it is still a dense cake, if that makes sense. I would give it like a solid 9 out of 10. I will say the raspberry compote pushes it to like a 9.5 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching the video and hanging out with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had a lot of fun. I thought it was really fun to kind of go through somebody else's recipes. Please let me know if you guys enjoyed this video and if you guys want to see me do other recipes or more of Claire's recipes or like anybody's stuff like that. Again, this recipe is from Claire Saffitz's What's for Dessert. I would recommend this book if you're a pretty confident home baker or you are looking to broaden your horizons, because she has some really, really cool recipes in here that you maybe like wouldn't have even considered making, and some kind of niche stuff, I will say. So I think it's a really, really, really cool if you want to broaden your horizons and maybe try some new things. So I would definitely check this out. Like I said, I won't be putting any measurements for the cake itself in the description or anywhere, but you will be able to find the ingredients list and the full method for the raspberry compote in the description below. So I'm gonna go now, and I hope you guys are happy and safe wherever you are. I will see you guys next time in my kitchen for another killer recipe. Bye guys. Oh my god, my back. Why did I do this to myself?